Hi everyone. I've been asked if I can demonstrate how to speed up or slow down the instruments in Magix. And I'm going to demonstrate this using the standard sample that comes with Magix, Dancing on My Own, and I'm going to put some instruments down on here and demonstrate how to speed them up or slow them down. First of all, I'm going to use a little bit of bass, and the bass I'm going to use is, where are we? Capstan bass. Sounds like that. Let's just put that down. Let's just zoom into the timeline a little bit so we can see what's going on. If you notice, this is 8 beats long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's also rather loud, so I'll turn that down shortly. I'm also going to put in a bit of percussion. So let's click on the percussion tab, and the percussion I'm going to use is whatever this is, sequention A. So we'll put one of those in, and again that is 8 beats long, and I'm going to put a drum in there, and the drum I'm going to use is cassette drums F. Let's just scroll down and find cassette drums F. Here we go. It sounds like that. So we'll put one of those in there. No, I'll tell you what, let's put it up there. You can put it where you like. It doesn't even matter if it's in the same track or above or below it. So we'll put that in. I'm going to turn this one down a little bit because this bass is a little bit too loud. It's very overpowering. So I'm going to drop that down by 8 decibels. There we go. Hopefully, if you've watched my previous videos, you'll know what I'm doing here when I turn the volumes of the tracks down, etc. The drums are a little bit on the loud side as well, so I'll turn those down a little bit. Let's take those down to -6 decibels. There we go. Click away from that. Now let's just play that. Stop that. I'm going to drag this time line back in here. This is at the moment playing on Lord knows how many bars, so I'm just going to drag this back to the number of bars that I've got on there, which is 8 bars. Just keep clicking and drag it. Just drag it back. So we'll drag that to the end of there, and that'll make sure that when you play it, this will keep repeating. Let's just play it. Okay, we'll stop that. Now to slow this down, we have a tempo here, just by the metronome. To the left of the metronome is the beats per minute, and it's playing at 120 beats per minute. And if you look at the objects that we've got on here, these are programmed to play at 120 beats per minute, each one of them. But we want to slow them all down. So if we click on the BPM highlight there, click and drag and highlight that and change that to 100, like so. Magix will now play that at 100 beats per minute, even though the object or that piece of music is intended to be played at 120 beats per minute. So let's just play that. Okay, we'll stop that. And as you can tell, that is now playing at a slower pace. So we've reduced the speed of what we're playing. Now let's add another instrument into there. Let's go into the sequences, and I'm going to use the backing sequence here because this one demonstrates this quite well. So click on that and it sounds like this. Stop that. Now this is playing at 120 beats per minute, and it's also only 4 beats long, so it's only half the length of one of these. But let's try putting one down anyway, and I'm going to demonstrate here what the problem is. I'm going to leave a space there. Drag that to the start of this play line here. They're all starting on the same place, but this one now all of a sudden isn't this 4 beats long that it should be. And the simple reason for that is Magix doesn't care what you've done with this tempo control in the timeline. It only knows that this has to be played at 120 beats per minute. So if I was to drag this out to match the length of all the rest of it, and I now play this, this is going to sound awful. So let's just play that. The reason for that is because Magix will play this at 120 beats per minute and it's playing everything else at 100 beats per minute. Now the way around that is to either click on the Inspector tab and try to change the tempo of this object, and this is very difficult because to try to drop this down to 100 beats per minute here is very difficult indeed. We need to try to get it to, what we're looking at is to get this half point at 100 beats per minute, and it's quite uncontrollable. You can get sort of close but not close enough. Personally, I would have liked a plus and minus button that you can do for the tone on the tempo, and it's very difficult to do. So we'll just go back to the keyboard, highlight that object and delete it. Now return the tempo back to its original pitch, its original speed, which was 120 beats per minute. Highlight that and change it back to 120 beats per minute. Now all of this will play at 120 beats per minute, so it's going faster. There we go, stop that. We know the backing is playing at that same speed, so if we drag and drop that onto there now, if you notice, all of a sudden it locks onto 4 beats. Brilliant. And we can pick up the right hand side of that, click and drag it to the end of the rest of the instruments and play it. All of a sudden it's playing in time. What we can do now is then go back to the tempo control here, highlight that, change that to 100 and play it again, and this time everything will be playing at 100 beats per minute. Let's play it. And there you go. Hopefully that gives you an idea of how you can actually speed up or slow down instruments in Magix. It's a little bit of a long-winded way of doing it, but until Magix come up with a way of actually enabling you to drag an object onto the timeline with the tempo that you've set on that timeline and changing it, I can't think of another way around it. But I hope that's been helpful to you. Thanks for watching.